The Jazz should obviously break up Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, okay? That's not a hot take at this point. But the only guy whose opinion actually matters on this is Danny Ainge. And Danny has said a million times, no one is untouchable, no player. So if you think he's afraid to trade Donovan Mitchell and keep Gobert, you're wrong. Oh, Gobert's the worst player? I don't know. We just saw some huge red flags from Donovan Mitchell that we will look at. But there's one main reason Donovan and Rudy do not mix. A lot of people think that Gobert is to blame for their bad defense. Obviously, it was a bad look when, Maxi Kleber torched them in games 2 and 3, just like Terrence Mann dropping 30 in last year's playoffs. But this is not new. The blueprint on exposing their defense was laid by the Warriors in 2017. Rudy hurt his knee in round 1 against the Clippers. When he came back, Golden State went small with Draymond and exposed Gobert. Look at him trying to guard Steph on the perimeter. I get dizzy just watching that. Then in 2018 and 19, the Rockets switched on Rudy, too afraid to leave the paint, leading to wide open shots. This is when people started to call Gobert overrated because he won so many Defensive Player of the Years and saying he is unplayable in the postseason. We heard that same stuff this year. But his defense is not the problem. He is actually so good at defense, the Jazz front office got lazy and didn't build a good D around him. Look at Donovan Mitchell against Spencer Dinwiddie. The perimeter defense is awful. It's like Dinwiddie is playing against a chair. And no one else can protect the rim. So if Rudy doesn't stay in the paint, it's a wide open layup. Gobert is not a scrub, and the biggest proof is how many teams would want to trade for him if he becomes available. Now we'll get to those trades later, but I blame the front office for not going all in on someone like Jeremy Grant, who is super versatile on defense. The actual problem with Gobert is his offense. This tweet went viral about Spida refusing to pass to Gobert. Joe Ingles passed to Rudy 23 more times this year, but he tore his ACL in January. Donovan played 1,152 minutes with Gobert. Ingles just 733. Two great channels, B-Ball Breakdown and The Ringer, did a deep dive on this. Unless it is a straight up lob, passing to Rudy is a gamble. You have no idea what he's gonna do. His hands are so bad, he's just as likely to fumble the ball as dunk it. Sometimes he can't hold on to rebounds. And forget about dribbling. Dude makes under 50% of his shots since 2017 if he has to dribble even once. And that's a pretty big problem, if you're a basketball player. Even on a mismatch, it's hard for Gobert to score. So if the other team goes small to expose them defensively, they can't make them pay on the offensive end because Rudy is so bad on offense, even against a mismatch. I mean, even if you look at Rudy's game-winning dunk in Game 4, it was on a straight lob, and it was the only assist from Donovan Mitchell to Rudy Gobert the entire game. So teams are not afraid to go small in the playoffs, and that is why he is one guy in the regular season and a different guy in the postseason. And there was a solution to all this. All Utah had to do was get a good small ball center. That way Quinn Snyder would have an adjustment in the playoffs. So what did they do? They got Rudy Gay. That's it. And I'm sorry, but even though plenty of media people told me, oh yeah, maybe that could work, it was horrible. That was a fireable offense, which is why they brought in Danny Ainge. The front office completely fumbled the offseason, getting just Rudy Gay, and now it is up to Ainge to blow this thing up. And like I said, Donovan Mitchell has horrible red flags on defense. Just ask Rudy Gobert. When I watch some of these other teams, like the Suns or the Warriors, those guys are a step ahead of us in terms of winning habits. Devin Booker is playing his ass off defensively. Guys like that, they buy in. And you can tell they take pride in playing defense and stopping their man, doing whatever they can defensively to stop the other team and be part of a winning culture. I think we're not there yet. Dude, I'm all for saying what needs to be said, but you don't have to call out your star teammate in the media. Do you know how pissed off that must have made Donovan Mitchell? These two obviously have had beef off the court, but on the court, both guys have flaws. Donovan is not a superstar. I know that Jazz fans think he is, but championship players are not 6'1" one-way guards. Outside of Steph Curry, they are two-way wings or bigs. Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I am on board with trading Donovan Mitchell, but let's see what trades will look like for both guys. Even though Gobert is limited on offense and makes $123 million the next 4 years, teams do want him. The list of Gobert teams are the Mavericks, Raptors, Nets, Hornets, and Warriors. Yes, Golden State. An anonymous Western Conference executive said, if Rudy Gobert becomes available this summer, I think you'd find a lot of those vets with the Warriors might want the team to make a run at him. Talent-wise, Wiggins and Wiseman for Gobert is a good deal for both sides. Okay, I know Warrior fans hate that idea, but Gobert would be dangerous. I do see problems with how expensive this would be for the team owner, and the Dubs could win a title this year and just have zero interest. The other teams on my list can offer this. The Mavericks, small ball 5 Maxi Kleba plus picks. The Nets, Ben Simmons plus picks if they blow it up. The Hornets, PJ Washington, Gordon Hayward plus picks. And the Raptors, I really can't see them parting with any of their core. But there would be a lot more teams that would make a run at Donovan Mitchell. He's just 25 years old and he's still getting better as a player. The Lakers, Clippers, Heat, Blazers, and Knicks are just a few teams that could make a run. And I know like people talk about the Knicks because it's Donovan's hometown and his dad works for the Mets, but RJ Barrett as a centerpiece, the Jazz need a go-to scorer if they let Spida Mitchell go, and RJ is super inefficient. The team I am most interested in is the Heat. They could offer Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, and a 2023 first. Hero is a go-to scorer, especially in crunch time, who is 22 years old. His ceiling isn't as high as Spida, so other assets have to come into play. Robinson stepped up in the playoffs after a down season, and Vincent's defense is legit. The Heat get a closer, which they need, and his bad defense is covered up by his new teammates. You'll notice one guy I did not mention in the Warriors trade list is Jordan Poole. He has earned himself potentially a max contract and is definitely a centerpiece for the future. How fun would it be to see the new death lineup, instead of Wiggins, have Rudy Gobert in it? Definitely it would include Jordan Poole. I made a whole video about how good he's been. Check it out.